You guys really want some merch, eh? I might have to go to the printing presses. Okay, let's go here. I don't want to cash out too soon on y'all. You know? Maybe build the brand a little bit more. Some nice designs and things. But no, let's wait. Let's wait for the... Oh, I like D5 here, though. Sure. Oh, wait. I'm giving C4. No. It's a big center. So sneaky. Okay, let's go E6. I like that. F5. Boom! Positional masterpiece. This bishop is dead. You're dead to me. You're dead to me, bishop. Now queen E3. Queen E3. No bishop H6 things. This bishop is terrible. We're playing against that bishop. Okay. Castles. Yeah. Oh, I see. I see the plan. The plan is good. Plan is good. Oh, whoops. Yeah, I don't like that. Okay, still keeping a footprint on this bishop. Footprint on this pawn. And footprint on this file. It's very interesting. I'm 2 pawns down. Am I? Yeah, I think I am. 2 pawns down. But this one is super weak and this one is not going anywhere. And this rook and this bishop, they're terrible pieces. The rook, the king as well. Terrible. Okay, we're very close. Hey everyone, here's a not so quick analysis of this 44 move game. So we started in an Alechin's defense, characterized by this knight f6 move. I play e5, I play c4, I play d4, and I play f4. This is all theory, and it's odd because I made a video on the
Alekins how to defeat it with the white pieces, but I forgot my own theory, and I played bishop e3, which is odd. Here, you're supposed to play knight c3, bishop g7, bishop e3 now, just like reverse move order. But yes, the idea that I missed is that I played knight f3, which you're never supposed to do before this bishop is developed. You see, white has to delay the development of this knight until this bishop commits to a square, and only then can we play knight f2. We even go to lengths to play bishop e2 first, and then knight f3. So bishop f5, and then knight f3, and then castles, and then black won't lose another tempo to play bishop g4 and pin your knight, because you shouldn't move your piece twice in the opening, right? So I don't do that and let my opponent give the opportunity to play bishop g4, and they don't do it, they play castles, which is odd. And I play bishop e2, which is a mistake. Yeah, I should just develop this first, apparently. This is a very interesting pattern. The bishop e6 attacking c4. Here, the engine says knight bd2 to defend on c4. This is the best way. And d5 is actually overextending my pawn structure. And black, what they can do now is attack my defenders of this e5 pawn. And I'm in trouble. I have to defend by the means of bishop d4. It's not really nice. And c5, I don't like taking en passant here because there's just added threats on this e5 square and my bishop. So I have to go back with this bishop, and that's kind of the plan that black has. So takes, and it's just marvelously played by the black pieces because they win a pawn on c4. If I take with the f3 pawn and continue the defense of the c4 pawn, it's dicey. It's dicey. After e6, it's really dicey for the white pieces, and I'm really uncomfortable, you know, playing this on because, you know, queen h4 check is threatened to encastle my king, and I don't really want to commit to castling short because, well, my king is exposed. We don't want that. Here, I'm already losing a pawn, which is not the end of the world because I go queen e2, kicking this knight, and then I go e6, kind of pressing onto the black pieces, which I really loved. And then after f6, which was a mistake, they should have taken. On takes, I kind of like queen takes e6 check. We gain some initiative, and then I would like some castles, or maybe even some bishop takes g7 check to expose the king further. But after f6, black have kind of made their bishop worse, right? There's just no real apparent space for this bishop. It's just not productive, and its only escape is on h6. So I try to, first of all, ingrain these pawns on f6 and e7, so this bishop never sees the light of day ever. And the biggest gift would have been like g5 for me, because this bishop is really in prison. But no, this bishop can still go to h6 and have a relatively nice diagonal. But this really just closes off the black pieces. So it's a really nice pawn sack. But following this up, I was more curious to block this bishop on h6 than to attack this weak pawn that I created for myself and kind of muster up an attack here, which would have been the better plan. Instead of queen e3 taking up this h6 square, I should have probably gone queen d3, attacking this f5 pawn, and essentially winning back that pawn I sacrificed, gaining back my material. But no, I go queen e3, and after knight a6, I go castles, knight c7, and now this is attacked many times. Rook d1 is okay, but more productive than that is even queen d3, attacking this pawn while defending. So you defend and you counterattack, even better, right? But no, rook d1, and the problem with rook d1 is that when I want to develop this knight, I don't really want to go to a3, so I go to d2, and I forget that I'm not defending d5 as well as I can anymore, and I give a pawn. And so now this is the second, or actually black is up like 3 pawns at this point, which is pretty tough to get back from. But no, one of their pawns is extremely weak on f5, so I'm sure of my capabilities to take back that pawn, and I take back this pawn because I'm really needing that pawn back. And so it gets much better from here. After queen g4, I go knight e3, which is a great way to kind of gain tempo on this queen. This queen has to move, and kind of have a knight d5 brewing in the distance, right? It doesn't hurt to attack a weakness on e7. So queen e4, which is not the best move. The best move was actually attacking my queen like this, which is odd. Oh, if I take here, there's queen takes d1 check. A beautiful desperado. And then after rook takes, and this is an equal trade for the black pieces, meaning they keep their 2 or 3 pawns up, which I didn't want. So queen e4 proposes a queen trade, right? Black wants to trade material because they're up pawns. And so I accept this trade knowing that there are some weaknesses that I can target. So maybe not even committing to f5 first. Why I went to f5 was to take up this h6 square so this bishop doesn't live. This is kind of the theme, but I'm quickly realizing there's h5, king h7, bishop h6, and there's nothing I can do to really stop this. So maybe this wasn't the best. Although I don't want to let this bishop on h6 because it has a nice diagonal. So it's really odd for me to really commit to this. On the other hand, a knight on e3 controls all of these weak light squares in the black position, which is really, really nice. Which is why I play knight f5 and directly c4, right? Attacking d5. And now, kind of, black's extra pawns are not looking as good as before. Actually, they have 2 extra pawns here. It's these 2. So this d6 pawn can't move up, right? And this e4 pawn looks completely isolated from the defense of its other pawns and easy to attack and take. So after rook b8, I play really well here in this endgame. I would say from here on out, I have 0 mistakes in the endgame, which is kind of crazy for me personally. 15 moves, no mistakes in the endgame as well. Like kind of not my best part of chess, as you know. I'm more one with the tactics. But yes, rook b1. What I'm doing here is that I'm neutralizing this open file that the black pieces were intending to infiltrate in, right, on my second rank. So what I'm doing is that by matching kind of their energy on this file, if they ever take, which was a terrible move, it lets me and grants me this file, and not only that, they can't match and defend the file, but I get on to this 7th rank and attack weaknesses, which was the objective. You see, I hold this file for the rest of the game with this rook, and we know why, because it was such a good piece that gets to activate along the 7th rank and attack these beautiful weaknesses. So h5, black tries to come up with a plan, but it really does not work. You see, this is too slow, and while the black pieces have, you know, played these 3-4 moves here, I have activated my king to greater lengths, and I'm about to even target some weaknesses here with my king. Active king in the endgame, very important. Not when there's queens on the boards or even rooks sometimes. But in this case, since the black pieces are really, really passive, I can afford to get my king to the 4th rank, to the 5th rank, to the 6th rank. These are all possibilities. And now king g6, rook b7, beautiful move to convert here. Attacking weaknesses 2 at 1 and forcing another piece to be weak and passive, therefore to not have activity. And, you know, at the end of the day, I'm avoiding counterattacks on my weaknesses, right? I too have isolated pawns. I too have a material disadvantage in this position, right? But by attacking these weaknesses, I can activate my piece and kind of trickle down these weaknesses and take some material back for myself with rook takes a7 here. Rook b8, and now I go knight takes e7. It's equal in this position, but material-wise, that is. Positionally, I'm completely winning because of this diamond hands pawn on e6 that looks undefended largely, but really isn't in the next move. And this pawn is going to lead to me being able to defend it and attack other weaknesses in this position. So bishop takes is still not that good because this bishop was defending, in fact, this d6 pawn in here. And when they take my knight, now this d6 pawn is not attacked anymore, and so it's largely undefended, which is perfect for my king that just swoops in. King f6, it's not that good of a move. Yes, it's a bit of a trick move, right? There's always this when people are on low time. If I take here with my king to defend this rook, and I think I'm doing myself a service, well, there's rook b8, rook b6 check, right? And if I go here to continue to defend this rook, well, then there's rook b7 that just wins my rook. And so I don't want that. So I would play king takes c5, and I don't know. Maybe this is winning for white still. Yeah, this is really winning, but it offers counter-attacking things, which I don't want. I want to avoid all of these counterattacking things as much as possible, so we just do the safe check first, king goes back, and now my rook is defended by a third party, which is this pawn, meaning it's really tough to dislodge this pawn and therefore to win the rook. So rook d8, and now I just cover. I play really well here. Here my pawn is passed pawn, right, obviously, and I'm threatening rook d8 to kind of cover up for this pawn ascending to e8, and after rook b6, king c7, super nice move. I could have taken this pawn, but I really liked this, right? I'm threatening rook d6, check, and forcing a trade of rooks, which benefits me because my pawn is going to queen next move. And after rook e6, I still play this, and I pin this rook to their king. You cannot take this pawn because I have check. And so after king f6, I take this rook with check, force the king to take, and I have a queen on e8. And in this position, or 3 moves before this, the black piece is resigned. I hope you enjoyed this analysis and this video. See you soon.